So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to do right triangle trigonometry. Okay? We're going to find the cosine, sine, and tangent to be able to find the sides or the angles of a triangle. Okay, so first we're going to do sine, cosine, and tangent. We're going to concentrate on tangent today. And your homework, while we're going to talk about sine and cosine today, your homework, I believe, is going to be just on tangent. Okay? So, a trigonometric ratio is a ratio of the length of two sides of a right triangle. The three basic trigonometric ratios are sine, cosine, and tangent. Remember that whole thing I made you read? Yeah. Okay. They're abbreviated as sin, S-I-N, cos, C-O-S, and tan. Okay? The angle that your line of sight makes with a line drawn horizontally is called the angle of elevation. We'll talk about that more. We're going to let triangle ABC, so you guys have this drawn on here. You have triangle A, B, C, and little sides A, little side B, and little side C. And we're going to talk about angle A in this instance. So if we look at angle A, right here, we're going to talk about the sides that are adjacent or hypotenuse or opposite of it. Okay? Adjacent means right next to. You're right next to something. Opposite means across from. Okay? So if we look at angle A, the side opposite angle A is little a. The side hypotenuse is C. So sine is always opposite over hypotenuse, A over C. Okay? Cosine of A would be adjacent, so we get B, over the hypotenuse C. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent, so that would be opposite would be little a over adjacent B. And we're going to talk about it using our other triangles. Okay? Adjacent is next to, so Elijah is adjacent to you, okay, where I am opposite you. If we form the triangle, okay, Elijah to myself is the hypotenuse, okay, so if Elijah is the angle, your side, Nathan Elijah, is adjacent to Elijah. Whenever you do anything about design or architecture or anything for plumbing, all kinds of different things. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are going to look at I'm going to really make this clear because apparently you don't understand what I'm saying. You need to not talk while I'm talking. So that means stop making noise. Please raise your hand if you have a question. We're looking at A right now. We've got angle 24, and we want to find out what X and Y are. So the first thing we're going to figure out is X. So we've got 24 right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is label the sides according to 24. What side is the hypotenuse for 24? What side? Why? Why is the hypotenuse? It is always the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse doesn't change no matter what angle we're talking about. Okay, what side is opposite 24? Did you guys see that? What side is adjacent to 24? So you should be writing this down right now. Every single thing I write on the board, I expect you to write on your paper. All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to set up to find X. So I want you to look at the vocabulary part above. Which one has, now we're going to find X, so we have opposite and adjacent side. Which one has the opposite and adjacent side? Tan. So this is how we set it up. We say tan of 24 equals the opposite over the adjacent. moving stuff out of the way.
How did you get that? That it was like tangent.
Okay, so I went up here to these things right here. And I said, okay, which one talks about opposites and adjacents? So this one talks about opposites, but hypotenuse. This one talks about adjacent and hypotenuse. I chose this one because I wanted to use opposite and adjacent.
Are you talking about? Yeah, she just picked an angle.
The angle is given.
Oh, so it's tangent.
All right. So this is where you need your book or your calculator. If you have a calculator, it will be one of two ways. You push the tan button and then 24, or you push 24 and then tan, depending on your calculator. Page 924. And we're going to go to, it says round to the nearest 10. We're going to go 4 decimal places. So we go 0.4452 equals 8 to the x. So if you have your book and don't have a calculator, you're going to go to page 925. You're going to look up angle 24, and you're going to go over to the tan column, 0.4452. Okay, let me see your calculator. So you have 24, you hit tan. So you're probably set in radians instead of degrees. Try it again. Push 24 and then tan. There you go.
So what do I have to do that? To do what? Calculate out of radius? So like, you have to push like whatever it says like DOG. Yeah.
So we have to figure out how to change this.
Oh, no, you wait, you don't. It's working it out. No. Just wait. You have to get that inverse cosine. See, if I ace all my exams, I can skip it and fail. And then you can go on. You'll skip on. You'll skip on. If I just take physics, I can take physics twice. And that goes for math and science, which means that's what I'm doing with life. Physics is my support.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is confusing. If you don't know how to work your calculator, please keep asking. I know how to work TIs better than I do Casios. But again, your answers to these are in your book on page 924. 925, and you can find it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're set up with a problem where we're going to have to cross multiply. So we get 0.4452x equals 8. And then we simply divide by 0.4452.
You get x
Equals, and we say 8 divided by 0.4452, and we get 17, and it says round to the nearest 10, so we get 17.9. We could round up to 18. Okay? Yes?
Are you sure you meant page 924?
925, go down to degree 24, go all the way over to the tangent section. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you could now use Pythagorean theorem, but I am going to show you how to do it without the Pythagorean theorem as if we never found out what x was. All this is going to disappear for 1 second. And we are going to look at this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to find y. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to find y. So again, we've got 24. And if we're looking at y, we've got hypotenuse and we've got opposite. This is where we scroll up to the top of our paper. What deals with hypotenuse and opposite? Please raise your hand if you can tell me the answer. Yes, Elijah. Hypotenuse and opposite would be sine. Okay? So, we have, therefore, the sine of 24 equals the opposite over hypotenuse. Okay? So, this is where you have to use your calculator. If your calculator's not working or you don't have one, you're going to have to look up page 925 and you go down to sine of 24. If you have your calculator, please plug it in. We're going to round to 4 decimal places. I get 0.4067 equals 8y. Is anybody having trouble doing that? Please raise your hands. Right. Now I'm going to cross multiply. Remember, this is over 1. We get 0.4067y equals 8. At this point, I'm going to divide both sides. And I have 8 divided by 0.4067. And I get y equals 19.7 because I round into the nearest 10. Okay, we're going to try another one just like it. Do we need another second for this? Please raise your hand if you have a question about this problem. Yes, ma'am.
Well, why did you put 8 over y here?
Okay, 8 over y, because I'm dealing with sine, and if we look up here, sine says opposite over hypotenuse. So I look at 24, and I've got opposite, which is 8, over hypotenuse, which is y. Does that kind of make sense? So you got to have these memorized. What goes to what? Well, you won't have to have them memorized because I'll let you have them on the quiz. Okay, I'm going to try another problem.
This is just like a question. Why
Yes.
is it when you divide by like a point or something, you always get a big number?
Whenever you divide by a fraction or decimal, you will get a bigger number. Because, for example, if I do 1/2 divided by 3, that's the same thing as, we'll try it. If you do 0.5 times 0.5 divided by 3, you get 2/3, which is bigger than 1/2. Okay, it's, remember when you're multiplying or dividing fractions, you put the second one? Multiply fractions.
You get a smaller number.
Because you're looking how many halves you have. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at B. So the first thing I want to do, where is your degree that you're looking at, your angle? 52, it's right here. I tend to circle it on my paper, so I'm clear. What is the hypotenuse? 15. Doesn't matter what the angle was, we know that the hypotenuse is across from the 90-degree angle. Okay, now this gets a little more complicated. What is adjacent to 52? The y. I'm doing ADJ for adjacent. We're okay with that? What is opposite 52? X. Okay. So, I have something 52 equals something over something. It's going to help me find my side. Okay? So we're looking at 52. I know I have the hypotenuse. What do I want to find first, x or y? Pick one. Okay, x. So if we're looking at x, we have the opposite and the hypotenuse. So let's look up on our paper. What is opposite and hypotenuse? It's sine. Does everybody see that? We want to find opposite and hypotenuse. We're like looking to solve x. So we're going to do the sine of 52 and the opposite is x.